Hi, it's George from Lancashire Aquariums again. Today we're going to be talking about betta fish care or Siamese fighting fish. Here's mine. His name is Prince. He's a Dumbo ear betta. I love how he looked in the shop when I bought him. I just loved his flowy fins and the colours and the way he's really active and swimming about. I just love watching him. I've actually got him on my bedside cabinet next to my bed just because I love just watching him at night. It really calms me down before I try and go to sleep. So I feel like this size tank that I have, which is around 23 litres, this is probably the minimum that you want to go for a Siamese fighting fish or a betta. They do live, or they can live rather, in really small tanks. Some people put them in, vases or little tubs or jars even, and it's really not ideal. Even though they can survive in there, they will not be happy. As you can see by looking at mine, he's swimming around, really curious and inquisitive. He loves exploring his tank. He really enjoys being in there, and I'm going to talk to you about how to care and keep your Siamese fighting fish happy, just like mine. So, as I said before, tank size, you want to be looking at a minimum of around 23 litres or 5 or 6 US gallons. Now, it is advisable that you go bigger than that, and the tank that mine is in now will be getting an upgrade to something around a 10 gallon, because I do feel like he would appreciate more swim space. Contrary to popular belief, they are found in rice paddies in Thailand. However, they're not really puddles. If you actually do a Google search on where they are found, they've got so much open space to swim in. So keeping them in a small jar or vase is just not ideal at all. You want to provide them with as much room as you can. Having said that, they are perfectly happy in something around this size, as you can see. But the bigger the better. So regarding filtration and heating, again, Siamese fighting fish or bettas can live in aquariums without filters and heaters. However, they won't be happy, and it is a requirement that they do have a filter and a heater. In mine, I just have a fairly cheap box filter. It's just a super fish. It does 100 litres an hour, however there is adjustable flow on it, so I've dropped the flow right down to the minimum, so it's just a nice steady flow going around the tank. Bettas don't, because of their flowy fins, they don't like high flow, so you want to be mindful of that. So I've dropped my flow right down, but that's doing absolutely a great job, as you can see, because the water is perfectly clear. As for a heater, I've just got a small 25 watt heater in this tank, which again does the job absolutely perfectly. You're looking at around 1 watt of heat per litre. So obviously this one is 23 litres, so I've gone for a 25 watt heater. Keep it at around 25, 26. And he loves it. Again, you can use various types of filtration. You don't have to use a box one. You can use what you call hang on the back filter. It's in the name. It's just a little filter that hangs on the back of the aquarium. Or you can use under gravel filtration. But they're a bit of an older type of filtration. You struggle to find them really. If you're just starting out with one like this, is your first fish, I would just go with a standard box filter like the one I have. Easy to maintain, easy to set up, straightforward. What you will want to do is cycle the aquarium before you buy your betta fish. So you'll want to set the tank up how you want, get your heater in there, get your filter in there, and you want to buy some beneficial bacteria, which is what I have here. This is the fluval cycle. This is what I use to cycle my aquariums. And you can dose with ammonia, or you can what we call ghost feed the tank, where you just put a little bit of food in every now and again, a tiny little bit of food, and when that rots and breaks down, it produces ammonia, which will feed the beneficial bacteria and get that cycle going. There's plenty of videos on YouTube and articles on the internet about how to cycle an aquarium, so I definitely would suggest that you familiarise yourself with that and cycle the aquarium before adding your fish, because if you add a fish to an uncycled aquarium, you get spikes in ammonia and nitrite, which are long story short, detrimental to fish health. You don't want them in the water at all. So really look into that cycle and have your aquarium cycled. To see how you're getting along in that process, again, you can buy these test strips, API, are the ones that I use. These are really easy. You just dip them in the water and you get a reading that you compare to the chart on the back, and that will tell you whether or not your aquarium is cycled. What you want to be looking for is no ammonia, no nitrites, and around 5 to 10 maximum nitrates, and that's when you know your aquarium is cycled. Siamese fighting fish love a planted aquarium because where they come from, it's heavily planted. As you can see, mine is more or less sort of packed out with plants. I've got some Vallisneria in there, some Amazon swords, a bit of Java fern, some Java moss that I'm trying to grow out on that pebble that I've glued to and done a horrific job on gluing. And I've glued that wood as well, and I'm sure you can see on camera that it looks terrible, but in my first attempt at using cyanacrylate glue in one of my aquariums, so it was a bit of a trial and error kind of thing. But there we go, first time. We all make mistakes, at least I know how to do it better in the future. So I've got as you can see, I've got a nice little bit of wood in that aquarium there, loads of plants. Again, these will help keep the fish happy, they'll keep the water clean as well. They'll help with that because they'll absorb the nitrates and other nutrients, fish waste in the aquarium. It really keeps that water quality up there, as well as keeping it oxygenated as well. Speaking of oxygenation, now Siamese fighting fish do have a labyrinth organ, so they can breathe atmospheric air. However, you do want to keep that water oxygenated. Now what I use is I've just tucked behind the filter a little air stone that I run just to keep oxygen levels in the aquarium present. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but in person you can see tiny little bubbles floating around the water, and that's what you want. If you are having live plants in your aquarium, you can use fake, but obviously there are a lot of benefits to having live plants. You'll need a light. Most starter tanks come with a light, which will be sufficient for a small Siamese fighting fish tank. The one that I have here came with a light and a lid, which is also a necessity because betta fish do like to jump. So a lid and a light if you're keeping live plants, but definitely a lid. As regards food, I feed mine a variety, sometimes brine shrimp, sometimes bloodworm, or usually I feed all my tanks a base of this Tetra Pro, which they do seem to like. I have actually recently fed them, so you might be able to see the little tiny bits of flake that's left over from there. He does like the flake, he loves the bloodworm and he loves the brine shrimp. all fish do. That's your fundamental basics. We could go into breeding them and such, but I'll save that for another video. This is your basics of sort of how to keep a beta Siamese fighting fish. They're a great pet to have. They do have a lot of personality. As you can see, you know, if I put my, you know, well, sometimes he does, he flares up to my finger and he's quite interactive. He does like to swim around. There you go. He's great. If I'm laid in bed and watching him, sometimes he'll swim to that side of the tank and watch me. They're just a great pet to have, and it's really important that you care for them the best that you can and do as much research and knowledge on keeping them as possible. I try to cover the basics in this video, like filtration, heating, plants, decor, but most important thing is getting the basics right, whether you use fake plants, live plants, or you've got some fun little decorations in there. That's all subjective, but the important bit is you get the filtration and the heating right, and your water quality, and your fish will be absolutely perfectly happy. I don't like to put myself on camera because I feel like, you know, as watch me, I'm sure you much prefer to watch the fish swimming about and doing its thing. As you can see, they are fun to watch. You know, they're really active when kept in the proper conditions. You know, they swim about, they're inquisitive. They're just great to watch, fun to watch, relaxing. They're beautiful fish. You can get so many different kinds and varieties. As I said earlier, mine's a Dumbo ear, or a Dumbo fin. You can get half moons, you can get crown tails, cats. Oh, so much variety in colour. Honestly, set your tank up, get it cycled, get all your bits and bats that you want to keep in your tank in there, and then once it's all set up and ready to go, you go out, visit different aquatic shops and pick out the one that you think looks the best. And I hope you really enjoy keeping a Siamese fighting fish. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe, give it a like, leave a comment. I plan to upload a short video every day, try and keep it around 15-20 minutes. Any constructive criticism is appreciated, as I'm a new channel and I'm new to this YouTube thing, so again, I'm doing this content for the viewers, so any criticisms or anything you'd like to see more of, or anything you'd like to see, just leave a comment, let me know. I have an Instagram page that you can go and follow. It's Lancashire Aquariums. I post pictures on there of all my tanks and fish and updates daily, so if you want to see that, go and follow that. Other than that, enjoy keeping your Siamese fighting fish.